And we're back on the Morning Brew with Anne-Marie Hinton and Lorena Chavez from AED. Good to see you guys this morning.
Thank you for having us on.
And you guys are having a big event at the same time that Tanya's having a big event.
We are.
But it's a little bit different demographic, right?
It is.
You guys are trying to help some small businesses.
We are. So Albuquerque Economic Development, AED.
Well, first, let's talk about what you guys do, because I know that a lot of people don't, we just start throwing acronyms out on the Morning Brew sometimes. You're like, AED, what is that?
Right. AED's mission is to help recruit employers to come to the Albuquerque metro area and also help existing companies in Albuquerque expand to generate jobs for our community. So
you're the third-party economic development coordinators paid for by the city in some ways. And then you have a bunch of partner agencies around, right?
In some ways. So AED is actually a nonprofit, and we are a membership organization. So local companies, decision makers invest their time and money to make sure that economic development is top of our game and a priority for our city. So
right on.
A lot of people don't realize that the same resources and tools that are offered to employers coming from outside of the market are also available to existing companies here.
Right, we hear that a lot. People say, well, how did HP get $1 million in tax breaks? Why couldn't I get that? You can.
Right.
There are ways you can help, and there are ways you can apply for the same tax breaks, right?
And it's, there's a qualification process,
of course.
Obviously.
Just like there is for HP, there is for local companies, too.
Right. So we want to kind of close that gap in terms of education and make sure that people here understand exactly what's available to them. So, and then Lorena is with Capital CDC. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that is?
And Capital CDC is Capital Certified Development Company, and we are a nonprofit licensed by the Small Business Administration to administer SBA's 504 loan program. And it's an economic development loan program. We like to create jobs as we lend our money, we like to create jobs as part of if you have a small business that's buying a building, we want them to expand their employment.
Right on.
So,
well, and I know that these CDC programs are really, they're like the source now for small business loans.
They really
I know credit is tightened up at banks for these kinds of things. Has business just exploded for you guys as the banking world is shrinking? Are you seeing the CDC world growing?
Not necessarily. Our loan is a participation loan where we participate with either banks or credit unions or non-traditional lenders. And so a lot of people think that they can use an SBA loan program because maybe that business is at risk or the loan is at risk. But it's actually beneficial to all small businesses who have been leasing a building and they want to exchange lease payments to rent payments. By utilizing our loan program, they only have to come in with 10% cash into the deal.
Oh, wow.
As opposed to if they are going conventional, their equity requirement goes up to 30%.
It can be steep, yeah.
So if you're doing a $1 million project, out of pocket,
just $1 million project.
You can do
small $1 million
out of pocket. You only have to come in with 10% as opposed to, which is $100,000 as opposed to $300,000. So, and we finance not only real estate, but we financed equipment as well.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And I know how does it work in New Mexico, and how many small businesses have you worked with here so far?
I have probably worked with, I've been doing it for so long.
Probably more than a breadbasket?
More than a breadbasket,
yes. I like that.
Quite a few. We average probably about 60 loans a year throughout the state of New Mexico. Wow. There's 2 CDCs in the state. And we participate with banks. So our primary people we talk to are lenders. But it's really important for us to get out to the small businesses out there and help them to understand that this is a product available to them where it will help them. Maybe the bank doesn't want a loan because they don't like the industry or something like that. There's various reasons why they'll want to use us.
Very cool. And Lorena's going to be one of the speakers at the event on the 12th.
Right.
And you're going to be helping people with this exact kind of issue at AED's big event. And it's in the morning, and it talks about what financial tools and ways that you guys can help, right?
Right. It's called Connect to Success, and it's your valuable link to valuable business resources. Like we were talking about before, we want to close the gap on those linkages. So it is Thursday morning, 8:30 to 11:30 at the CNM Workforce Training Center.
That's one over near the freeway in Paseo.
Right. Right. It's over off of Eagle Rock. And if you go to AED's website at www.abq.org, there's a button on the homepage that says Connect to Success. You can click that and learn more about the speaker bios. There you go. The different tracks. So like you mentioned, there's 2 educational tracks. One is focused on financial tools for business growth, and Lorena will be speaking in that, and that track will cover things such as equipment leasing, alternative lending, small business loans, new market tax credits. The workforce development track is going to focus on things such as how do you connect with the schools, CNM, UNM to
I know hiring
to
is a
hire
big part
and
of
train.
that.
Right. There'll be a primer on New Mexico employment law, some tips on the job training incentive program through the state.
The JTIP program is that's a big one because
Right.
I think a lot of small businesses forget that when they are expanding, there are funds available from the state.
Right.
Do they have to be, are those funds for economic-based jobs only, or are they for everything?
You know, I don't really know the answer to that.
That's all right. That's all right. They're available and they're awesome.
Yes,
when you
come
can,
to the event because
and we will clear all that up at the event, right?
The intention is to teach people, A, what's available to them, and B, to connect you with those consultants we have on staff who handle our existing business development program.
Right.
And with support from the city of Albuquerque, we've actually been able to expand that program this year, adding 2 new consultants. So we're really excited to help more businesses. And in 2015, we worked with more than 117 companies to help generate more than 1,800 jobs. So
that's huge.
It's a big deal. We want everyone here to know that we're available and they can call us anytime.
Very cool. So where do you guys see as the next frontier in small businesses and economic development? Are we looking at, oil and gas is down, so what are we looking at now? Is it more HPs of the world trying to bring them in? Are we still on the hunt for a big company headquarters? What's the next big frontier, you guys think?
I think it's all important.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an either-or conversation. It's an and conversation. Albuquerque is really strong in manufacturing and shared services operations, in aerospace and aviation.
All the big sectors we think of, right?
Definitely technology, high tech.
Right.
Is booming and a big deal here. So.
No doubt, no doubt. What about green chili cheeseburgers? Is that a
Who
big,
doesn't like a green chili cheeseburger?
Is that a big economic development thing? Because we'll be talking to Barb Awal here in a second. She's got her brand new book that's all about the green chili cheeseburger trail. Back in a couple of seconds in the Morning Brew.
All summer, I wanna get my days modeled to the grind, but I won't be done when morning comes. Doing it all night, all summer.